If you look up other game dev videos, most of these guys are all freaking amazing artists. And I'm here like... I'm in. Basically all that just to say, hey there, I can code.
Not to put down any aspiring developers out there, programming is difficult and it takes skill to do it well.
At the end of the day, I'm really bad at art. So I depend on artists from the internet to stop me from pumping out more pregnant Sonic drawings. Which brings me to my next point. If I can't do art, why the hell am I in a solo game dev business? Straight up envy from me. Artists can make these pretties. Bruh, I can do your calculus homework. Come on, just let me have a little bit of that pretty. So, that brings me to the next best thing. Stealing. JK, no. I'm only a little shameless. I mean, the Unreal Marketplace. Listen to this. Artists, those beautiful, crazy bunch of humans, upload artsy assets for cheap. Like, I'm talking $5-10 cheap of professionally made, already compatible assets with Unreal Engine. Like, bro, sign me up. Gimme. Because I need it to make my UI actually look decent. Because trust me, my UI is the most bare bones programmer art piece of design I can put together. So I bought a UI pack called Progressive UI Sci-Fi, and it looks awesome. The biggest problem with buying assets though is that it doesn't plug and play directly to your project, but it does give you a strong starting point with a bunch of ready to go assets. So first things first, let's hook this up.
I'm ready.
To no one's surprise, the code behind the UI isn't up to my standards. End of animation is a delay, not an event, part 1. End of animation is a delay, not an event, part 2. End of animation is a delay, not an event, part 3. More animation delays, not events, and so on. Hard setters for switching buttons. Getting lost in spaghetti sauce inside of tick. Here, the code is checking every frame to see if the user has pressed the F key. Unreal already has a key event for that F key you want to check. Or more like, just don't check it. You can just call the event and literally watch. You can just hook it up right here. Now we can get rid of this whole tick situation going on. And also, what is this? A delay with the setter? Nah, screw that. All right, let's check out. Where does this even go? It's another event, so it's just another freaking function call. So unhook this, paste it up here, hook it up here at the top, and bam. Now we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of this, and we can get rid of whole tick. Look at that. Clean. Boom. So we went from this to this. Now, I actually wanted this, but this made me want to jump off a building and free my soul from its suffering. Let's do something stupid. Yeah, that was stupid. So I want to add controller support to Subluminal, and it looks like this. Let me show you. The problem I have right now is that the Unreal UI backend slate is all like, no. And I'm all like, yes. But I have a smooth brain as well. Alright? And doing some really quick maths, we end up getting suffer. At the start of Subluminal, I asked the user to press any key so that we can determine if the primary way of control is keyboard or gamepad. We'll call this controller type. We then set a global bool in the game instance to know which controller type the player is using. Once the player presses a button, we then have the home menu show up. When a user switches to a menu tab, we then have a function call that plays an animation with an event to activate the menu. The event call is hooked up to the end of the animation that focuses the now active menu. That focus then triggers another event on the active menu. That active menu focuses a specified button that we've previously defined. So far it makes sense, right? But hold your horses, we're now getting into jank territory. So all the other menus have some kind of event that tells us when a user is actually focused on it. So by that logic, we should be able to assume that a button has a similar event so that we know that there is an actual button of interest that we care about.
Not sure if it's me, but
I don't see an event we can use. I tried taking a look through the source code too, but to no avail. Another problem I found is that you cannot broadcast or let Unreal know that you want to call the onHover or onUnhover event on Blueprint. So I made my own uButton class type that all it does is expose a Blueprint callable function for the hover and unhover events. The reason why we want to call these events is so that our animations and art are hooked up properly to the hover and unhover actions of a user. This makes it so that the logic behind the controller type, keyboard or gamepad, behave in a similar manner. Now that we know about all of these issues, we get to brute force a solution. With old reliable, tick. To brute force this hover unhover situation, we first set up all of the ones we care about on the constructor. Then we check all of those buttons every single frame. We loop through all of our buttons, check if the user is focused on the button, then if they are focused, we call the hover event. If they are not focused, we call the unhover event. I know this doesn't look too bad, but we have to manually do this for every single menu. So this exact same setup exists within 4 more menus, doing the exact same brute force call every single frame. Think about it like this. You want to pour water in 1 cup. That 1 cup can be in 4 different spots. So you pour water in all 4 spots to guarantee you make it in the cup. And then you keep doing it. You also already know you only have 1 cup and you know if it has water or not, but you have to keep pouring. And if there's not even a cup on a table to pour water in it, you still have to pour water just in case. This is basically what we're doing, but with like 4 tables at the same time, and only one of those tables has a cup. But it freaking works! We can change between keyboard and gamepad flawlessly in the main menu, and the rest of the game knows which controller type to use. Oh yeah, and we also got a full menu now too. Finally, after hooking up the art, we now have a user interface ready for release, with custom animations, art, and even a settings page. Check out these sexy transitions. Woo! On the settings page, we have a place for people to customize their graphics, sounds, and even, check this out, bindings. We have 2 binding columns here. A PC type for your keyboard and mouse elitists, and my recommended way to play Subluminal, controller. Alright, UI is down for the count. But we do still have sounds, graphics, and collisions left to finalize before we release the public playtest. Also, if you care enough, there are some link keys down in the description to find out a little bit more. But I'll see you next time.